Well, hey everybody, it's Joy Packard, and it's been some time since we've been here at our home, and I wanted to just say a quick hello. We made it home today. You know, those of you who have been following know that we've been evacuated for the last 4 or 5 days, and so I wanted to do a quick hello because we are back in our home after being evacuated. And so, coming home, it's just, this whole thing has been so surreal to me. Watching it from whenever we were in San Antonio and evacuated, and just seeing everything that around us has happened. And so, I know a lot of you have been amazing and concerned and private messaged and texted me and everything. And it's just been, so nice of you guys to think of that. And so I wanted to we're about to go and run some errands and such. It took some time to get home because we got rerouted a few times on the roads, but it's interesting the things that have come from what has happened. And our hearts still go out and will go out for a long time to those who have been affected. There's still people in the very, very back of our neighborhood that have come home or are still on mandatory evacuation. And so, it's, I don't know, I came home, and my husband's been home, and, he kind of started putting things away, and we've been very blessed that our home was spared. But, those of you who, basically are affected and coming home, basically to a home that is has water in it, and have basically have to start over. And my hearts go out to you. And so some of the things that I really have learned through this whole experience, number one, the things that come out whenever there's a catastrophe, and the love that is shown, whether it's I see people, and I was coming home on University over here in Houston near our home, and I saw all of these booths that were set up, booths of water and food, and it was to feed the workers that were helping families get their houses back in shape. And, or even just people having to work on their own house. It just really, really touched me. I just saw, like I say, just people lending a helping hand. There was these people trying to raise money for them. There's people that are showing up in groups and helping everybody, and it just, on the way home, I was just like really, really touched about how, those who were not affected are basically stepping in, and they're forming their groups. Thank you, Kimberly. And so, I noticed a few things about myself whenever I was coming home, and I was seeing some of the waters that were still on the road, and I was, seeing some of the homes, and some of the, the areas that still had water as I was coming in. And I started noticing a change in my attitude as well as my kids, and, I guess you don't complain as much. I guess you're just more grateful. You're more grateful for the things that you have. You're more grateful for the things that are around you. Anytime you think about complaining about, I had to wait in a long line for gas, or I had to go, wait in a long line to order, my food. And, I got to thinking about that, and I was talking to my kids about this on the way, and I got to thinking, you know what? At least we have food, and at least we have a car to be able to get in, and being able to get gas. And, I don't know, suddenly those little comforts that we take for granted on a daily basis, running water, food in our cupboard, being able to walk into our home and it be cool and not have, to worry about different things. And there's so many people now that are displaced from this hurricane. They're in hotels. All they have is a backpack with a few things because they were having to hurry and rush out of their home. And so all they have is a backpack on their back, and pretty much that's it. And a lot of my family is, in San Antonio in FEMA hotels, like evacuated. because, you know, some of them were coming from Vidor, Texas. And those of you who watch the news, Vidor was hit. And, you know, I know we all have different cities along the way with this hurricane or whatever, but, you know, it just really hits home whenever it's family and it's a town, you know, that you grew up in, or it's your husband's hometown. And so, I don't know. You know, for tomorrow, it's really exciting because, you know, as we come home and as we're trying to pick up the pieces, you know, those of us who, thank you, Fernando, I appreciate that. Those of us who, like tomorrow for our church, we start at 8 a.m. and we're showing up in our work clothes, and then they're giving us assignments to basically go and help those who were affected. And I'm so happy about that because, you know, like even my kids, you know, their basketball teams this week, their football teams this week, what they're doing is they're just getting in groups and they're just going and helping our community and seeing who needs help and basically seeing, you know, what can we do? And, you know, a lot of people, you know, during this time and this situation, they don't really know what to do. And there's a post on my wall before this video, a great article or post that someone had posted in a group that can help you. You know, those who are, you know, you're in your community and, you know, they're talking about how, you know, don't just show up and say, how can I help? You know, to be specific, you know, can I do your laundry? Can I take your kids for a while? You know, can I'm here till 8 p.m. You know, what can I do? Also, you know, those who are far, it's got a great section on what you can do, you know, to send gift cards, to donate. You know, I'm just so amazed about, like, I have some friends in Nederland that have set up a group page. You know, they have a group page and they're communicating, you know, like in their communities, like, hey, you know, this person at this address needs water. This person needs clothes. This person needs, you know, somebody to take their kids for a while so they can work on their home. And it's really, really amazing to me how everybody is, you know, they're pulling together. And it's Texas, you know, I mean, I know that's all over the world that we all help each other, but I'm just so proud, you know, of the way that everybody is pulling together and getting their resources. You know, there was one, I think it was some of the shelters having to turn away people because as far as donations, because there's such an influx of love of people donating, you know, their clothing, just food, water, you know, everything that they can. And, you know, that's so touching to me, you know, like, because, you know, how is that, you know, to have to turn away, you know, things that they can use at a shelter. And so for the next month, you know, few weeks on a Sunday, like I say, what our church is doing is we're meeting at 8 a.m. and for 1 hour and having our church meetings. And then they're giving us assignments to go around into our community to help those who are affected. And that's what we're going to be doing. And it just makes my heart feel so amazing to see the love, not only in our community, but all around us, you know, just people that are reaching out. I saw this guy on the news the other day, and it was in our area, and it basically, you know, he had a boat and he was helping people bring their stuff, you know, transporting it from their house and, you know, transporting it to where it needed to go. And somebody asked him, you know, do you do this for a living? And he's like, no, you know, I'm a plant worker, but I'm not able to work right now, so I may as well use my boat and help those who are in need. So how cool is that, you know, for people to use their resources to help those that are in need and those who are affected. And so, you know, if each of us go into our own communities and can help each other and basically, you know, the little sections and every person that shows up makes a difference. You know, if one person is watching kids and another person is bringing food and another person is you know, helping clean out a house or whatever it is, every person can make a difference. And, you know, like I say, you know, we just arrived home a few hours ago. I had a hot shower and I'm just so grateful in my heart. And now it's our turn, you know, to take our family and to help those who are around us, you know, as we look at people who are in the back of the neighborhood who, you know, have water in their homes. And so I'm telling my kids, I'm like, you know, you don't complain, you know, about your, you know, if your house is hot or, you know, maybe you have to take a different car today or whatever, because, you know, I was explaining to them and making them realize that there's so many people right now who don't have a car. They don't have a home. They don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And so let's just be grateful. The ones that, those who were not in the hurricane, or those who were not affected, those who were in it but not affected like we were, and pull together and encourage each other to help those who were. And so it's just such an influx of love, like I say, and it's such a beautiful thing, that such a devastation can pull so much love. Like I say, yesterday I was talking to my husband and I mentioned it, not my husband, my cousin, and basically, he lost his home. And whenever I, reached out to him and told him, how sorry I was, about his home, you know what he said? He didn't say, yeah, I'm so bummed about my house, it's my water, I got to get my water out when I get home and all this kind of stuff. You know what he said to me? He said, you know what? It's going to be all okay. I'm just happy that we were able to get our family out and we have our family together. And I have seen so much love of people who I know and people who I don't know reach out. And I know when I get home, it's going to be a mess and I'm going to have to clean up my home, he said. But we're here as a family and we're all okay. And I get chill bumps when I tell that story, because how many of us are like that? How many of us are able to just say, you know what? As long as our family is together, and as long as our home is just a home, and we'll be able to get together, we're able to push forward. So I guess I'm here, and I just wanted to let you know that we're safe in our home, and we're so blessed, and we're so thankful, and we're here to help. We're going to be pushing forward with our family. Tomorrow we're going to go to church and then help other people, and that's how we're going to rebuild. And that's the exciting thing is we start from the ground up, and we go and give of our time and of our love. Those who were basically didn't have the water in their home, now we reach out to those who are around us and we offer our help. And so lastly, before we have to go out and run some errands and get some groceries or whatever, like I said, one of the things that I wanted to stress so much is and whenever we were going through this evacuation, I remember leaving this home and throwing everything in a luggage that we could fit in our car for 3 or 4 days and praying. And we've been praying and we continue to pray. But what happens is sometimes, when we come home and we realize that everything is okay, then we say, oh, everything's okay. And then we start forgetting, the Lord, I guess, and what he did for us. And so I encourage you that, don't let it be a hurricane that comes that has to make you not forget the Lord and to say your prayers and to pray for others. Is that, hopefully this is a reminder in a odd sort of way to help us to remember, that we're blessed and that we're here to help each other, So I hope, and I hope that, as a community, we're just able to help each other. You help in your communities, you do what you can. Those who are afar have asked, what can I do? On my wall, there is a post to show you what you can do when you're in your community and when you're not. And so hopefully you can go back and read how you can help, those who have been affected. And I hope that you can remember, to be grateful basically for the things that we have, and to be less a complainer, right? We complain so much about so many things, and we have no excuse to complain now, right? We have people who have been displaced, who have lost their homes, who have lost everything, and they have the best attitude. And so what can we learn from them and from this whole situation? We can learn to not complain. We can learn to be grateful for the things that we have. We can learn to give, of our time and of our resources and of our love, to those around us. And so we're going to go get some things, to try and get back on track here at our home. Tomorrow, we're going to be helping those around us who were affected. And I feel so good about that, because I've been away for the last 5 days, and now we're back. And now we're back to give of our time and to give of our love and support for those around us. And one last thing before I let you go. I remember last time we had a hurricane, one of my friends said, they were outside cleaning and they're, separating their debris. And one of the things that really helped them, because, you know, what do you say, you know, like everybody, you know, whenever someone has lost their home. And my friend basically said someone came up to them, to their yard, and they gave them, you know, a meal. They went to Chick-fil-A and they just came by, rolled down their window, and handed this Chick-fil-A meal to this family. And I thought, you know, with no words, they just said, we thought you might be hungry, and they handed this family this food. And so I guess that's the other thing, that besides being grateful, you know, and all the things that I talked about before, but the word again for 2017 for me, and to teach my kids, and that is to be aware, you know, to be aware of what's around us, you know, to look for a way to be kind, to look for a way to lend a helping hand, to be aware, you know, be aware of all that's around us and what is it that people need. And maybe it, like I say, sometimes it might just be to help a mother who is having fussy kids and they're all hanging on her, you know, she's hot because her air is off, she has no running water, you know, no electricity, no sewer, and she's sitting here trying to clean out her house, and you think, you know, what can I do as I see her with all of these kids all around her? So, anyway, I hope that, you know, we can all learn from this, and we can all reach out in some way, whether we're near or whether we're far, and that we can, you know, help those who are affected. Anyway, let's rebuild Texas and those around us and those who are affected, and you know, hopefully through the next coming weeks, months, even years, you know, we continue to help those around us to rebuild. And so anyway, I hope those of you who are coming home, you know, that our mandatory evacuation in this area was lifted. There's still mandatory evacuation in the back of the neighborhood. You know, there's an influx of people starting to come home to their homes and, you know, to evaluate what's happened. We continue to pray. You know, we don't stop praying just because the hurricane is over. We just continue to pray, you know, for those around us, and we continue to pray to thank, you know, Heavenly Father for all of our blessings. So anyway, that's just a report. I'm home. I just wanted to get on here and say a quick hello to all you guys, and let you know how thankful I am for those of you who are reaching out, how thankful I am to come to a home, you know, that I still have one, as others are not. And so, like I say, we reach out to those who are, you know, going through this very, very tough time and who need our love and our prayers and our support. So there you go. I will talk to you guys soon. And, you know, like I say, tomorrow we're going to be out working and helping those who were affected in our neighborhood and our community. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. It was so nice to come home and take a hot shower in my own shower, and just to be here and, you know, start rebuilding. All right, you guys take care. I will talk to you guys soon.